Hello guys, and welcome to my build update number 2 for the Airfix 148 scale Albion 3-point fueler, kit number A03312. This is part of my entry into a diorama I'm building for the D-Day 75th anniversary buddy build that I'm hosting both on here and on Facebook. So leaving off from update number 1, I then started this update with some chipping using steel and aluminum. Started off with the chassis, do some delicate chipping with both colours. That's the underside, and that's the front of the underside. I then applied some chipping to the tank and pump housing there. Then moved on to the cab. It's the front and the rear. Then moved on to the swing arms that carry the hoses on top of the pump housing. And then the engine panels, the radiator and the door panels. I then clear coated everything, gloss clear coat. And there's everything clear coated, ready for decals. Just 4 decals to apply. The rear license plate, the chemical reaction square on the front fender, and then the 2 side decals, 2/3. I then sealed those in with some gloss clear coat, just brushed it over the decals. Then moved on to weathering. Started off with a grey wash, mixed by using black and white together. Liberally applied that over all the parts, allowed it to dry, then rubbed off the excess. Then moved on to a dark dirt wash, did the same with that. Rubbed off the excess after it was dried for an hour and a half. And then sealed it all in with a final matte varnish. I used the Galleria by Winsor & Newton. Dries really flat, as you can see. Then moved on to assembly. I assembled the cab onto the chassis. That was followed by the 2 footboards. And then I assembled the tank and pump housing assembly, followed by the engine covers and the radiator. And that's just another view. And then moved on to the 4 lights, clear parts. They were painted silver around the back sides so that reflects through the clear fronts, and then painted green on top of that to finish them. Next, I moved on to cutting a length of electrical cable that was the same diameter as the pump hoses, and glued that to the outer right swing arm. That's the one I'm going to be utilising in the diorama. And here I'm testing it. I've got it swung out, and I've got it located on top of an old mosquito build, because it's going to be a mosquito I'm using in this diorama. After that, I moved on to mixing an acrylic wash using brown black detail wash with a bit of rust acrylic paint to make a reddish, sort of rusty red brown colour. Applied that all over the model in certain places, and did that to all the parts until I thought it looked pretty weathered. And there's the underside. A view from the driver's side. That's the passenger side. I then applied the same wash to the swing arms with the hoses, then onto the door panels, and then onto the wheel hubs. After that, it was on to doing some mud splatter in the wheel wells and on the frame, on the underside of the chassis, etc. And I used AK Interactive accumulated dust, light earth, dry ground effects with some Vallejo splash mud and some flat earth paint by Model Master. Mix those, and then started applying that stuff on the underside there. Looks like a thick mud that's accumulated in the wheel wells and then did splatter all underneath the chassis and around the framework. And on the footboards and some inside the cab there. And then onto the bottom of the door, and I also removed the masking tape from the window of that door, followed by removing the driver's side window masking tape and the windscreen masking tape. I then assembled the 5 tyres, 4 main ones and the spare tyre on the side of the driver's panel. Then assembled the passenger side door in the open position. Following that, I moved on to attaching some fine easy line cables on top of the swing arms. There's a pulley system. That's just the top part. It's a full sort of round linkage that goes around bearings, and I completed that. And then it was on to sticking the short hoses in that connect the pump housing up to those swing arms. I painted those black and the fittings brass. Then assembled the swing arms on top, glued those in position, and you can see all the cables are in place on those swing arms now, top and bottom. So that's it guys for this update. Everything's complete. So thanks for comments left on update number 1. Thanks for any comments you leave on this update. Thanks for following the build along. And until the final reveal video, happy modelling, tally-o, and chocks away.
Thank you.